Welcome to another episode of the Latino Business Report. Today we have truly a mouth-watering story to share with you. Valerie Gonzalez and Herlinda Lopez-Wood are more than just a mother and daughter. They are the dynamic duo in one of San Antonio's most beloved institutions, Delicious Tamales y Mas. What began with a humble $500 investment in a single location in the heart of the Alamo City has blossomed into something truly extraordinary. You can now find their 14 delicious tamale flavors available year-round, not at one, not at two, but 8 locations. 6 are in San Antonio and 2 more in Austin. This is no overnight success story. This is an ongoing journey of dedication and adaptation to meet the ever-changing demands of their loyal customers. Delicious Tamales y Mas produces over 2 million tamales every year. That is an incredible 70 dozen tamales rolling off their kitchen line every 2 minutes. Delicious Tamales y Mas isn't just a local sensation, it's a national treasure. For 2 decades, they've been shipping their mouth-watering tamales to hungry fans across the country. And if tamales weren't enough to tantalize your taste buds, they've recently expanded their shipping menu to include other Mexican delights such as picadillo, barbacoa, and carne guisada. Their culinary adventure has just begun.
Welcome to the Latino Business Report. This podcast covers business, people, and issues of the day from a Latino perspective. The Latino Business Report is brought to you by TAMAC, the Texas Association of Mexican American Chambers of Commerce. TAMAC is the leading Hispanic business organization in Texas since 1975. Now for your host, J.R. Gonzalez.
And welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things, tamales. Yes, sir, tamales is a long-age tradition. It actually did a little research. Tamales are believed to have been created or invented or started, if you will, by Aztecs and Mayans back about 7,000 BC in Mesoamerica. So people have been making tamales a long time, but I tell you what, some of the best tamales I've ever had are from Delicious Tamales in San Antonio, Texas, and also have some locations in Austin. And here with us today, we have the owners of that establishment, Valerie Gonzalez and Herlinda Lopez-Wood. Ladies, how are you doing today?
Very good. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great because this morning I got up early and I had some of your tamales. I warmed them up in the microwave, and let me tell you what, that is the breakfast of champions. That is the way to start the day.
That's it.
With some good tamales. You don't need a bunch of other extra stuff. Just I refer to it as my Mexican energy bar. Some people have coffee, some people have croissants, some people have whatever. Nombre, I have a nice little 1 or 2 tamales for breakfast, and I'm good to go. So. Delicious tamales. How long have you guys been in business?
We've been in business for 43 years.
43 years. Wow.
Yes. It's
Okay.
Herlinda was born into the business.
I was. I am only 41, but
Okay.
since my
She's
inception.
been with us. She's been working since she was a kid.
Okay. So for the benefit of our listeners here, we have a mother-daughter team. We have a mother-daughter team here, but been in the tamale business for, what'd you say, 43 years?
43 years, yes, sir.
43 years. Okay, let's. I gotta ask, how did you get into the tamale business? I mean, it's not something you traditionally go from a childhood. Gee, when I grow up, I want to make tamales for a living.
Right.
Although we did make tamales when we were young, because most Hispanic families do that.
Absolutely,
have the tamaladas. Now, for me, it was by chance. I came to graduate school, met Herlinda's dad. His family had been doing this for a while, so he wanted to do kind of like the same type of operation. And I continued my studies and helped. We both started the Delicious Tamales in a small little mom and pop. We were the only employees. And we saw that it was going to be a hit. People really, really like tamales. And Delicious Tamales, because we do everything the old-fashioned way and make it a very home style tamal, it really kicked off.
So your in-laws were in the business before. Were their tamales by the same name, or did they have a different company name?
No, it was the same name. It was
Same name.
Delicious Tamales.
Okay. So you and your newlywed husband said, we're going to venture off and start our own business and start making tamales.
Yes.
Is that okay? Sounds a little crazy, but okay. It's been successful. And Herlinda, you were actually literally born into the business. I mean,
I was.
it's not like
I
you were born on a.
I wasn't born on a
a
tamale
corn husk.
Let me finish that statement for you. No. Yeah, they didn't wrap me up in one of those hospital blankets. They wrapped me up in a corn husk. No, I was born into the business. So, yes.
Okay, you were born into the business, and I understand. Where did you go to school, Herlinda?
I got my undergrad at Incarnate Word, University of the Incarnate Word here in San Antonio. And then I got an MBA from UTSA.
All right. So I don't know. I'm just kind of taking a shot in the dark here, but you're probably the two of the most educated tamale makers I've come across in a while. So,
Yep.
Herlinda, the education level and stuff that you've been doing with your master's degree and with MBA, has that been helpful to the business? And if so, how?
I think it has. In my opinion, I think you learn a lot through life and through your experiences running a company. That's one form of knowledge. But formal knowledge in education with an MBA, I think that it really lends itself to elevating how you run your company, implementing some of the things that you learn while you're studying. I think it has helped a lot.
Okay. Valerie, now you got your daughter here coming back from college, thinking she knows everything. Was she that helpful to the business, or did she just want to change and do things her way?
She was extremely helpful to the business. She brought in all the new ideas. I'm still the old-fashioned way, pencil and paper. She brought in a lot to the company, and I love working with her.
Okay. So she brought in processes and mechanism stuff, but the old-fashioned way, that sometimes is the best way, and that's the way you make your tamales, right? The old-fashioned way.
That doesn't change.
The old-fashioned way.
That
All right,
we
won't go back to 7,000 BC, but when you're talking about the old-fashioned way, describe for me, how do you make your tamales?
We cook the corn. We grind the corn on these massive stones that we have in a machine. They stone
You
grind
do your
it.
own grind. You do your own grinding.
We do. We grind it fresh in the mornings. We add the manteca or the lard, and then the spices. Get everything ready. We get the filling ready, whether it's going to be meat, beans, whatever filling we're going to use, and we get the tamales going.
Wow, Valerie, you grind your own corn. Do other places do that, or is that kind of unique for you guys?
I think it's kind of unique. A lot of people have gotten away from that. That's the old-fashioned part of the tamal. A lot of people use the freeze-dried corn where you just add water. It just doesn't give it that real homemade type of taste.
And when you get that, when you grind the corn, and that's where you make the masa from, the dough.
Yes, exactly correct. The corn is cooked. It's got its timing. When the corn is ready, the young men that work the corn grinder put it into the corn grinder, and of course there's these huge stones that grind it into the masa, which is the outer filling of the tamal. And we add the spices, like Herlinda said. We add the lard, which really gives it an authentic taste. Some people would prefer the oil, but tamales have to have lard.
Hey, yeah,
That
we're not.
gives
Yeah,
it the flavor.
If you're gonna eat tamales, you're not gonna get into this low-cal, keto-friendly, nombre. I mean,
Now-
you have to have the lard.
On the flip side, we do have a Southwest vegetarian tamal that we use oil with, since it's completely meat-free. So, and those are very delicious as well. I'll have to
Those are the
go
vegan
to bat for
tamales.
those.
Yes.
Or the vegan.
Vegan tamales.
Hey, everybody
all
has to have a
right.
tamal.
Okay. I know everybody to each his own, but I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. All right. So, Valerie, we're talking about old-fashioned way. Kind of walk us through. You get the grinding, you got the masa. Then pretend we don't know anything about making tamales, which Well, I do, but take us through the process. What do you do once you get the masa?
Once we get the masa, we get it all with the lard, get the spices. We do the same thing with the meat. We grind our meat here. The only thing we don't do is raise our piggies that we use for the filling. And then it's different type of meats. We either do the pork, the chicken, the bean, the cheese. We
Well,
prepare
you guys have what, 14 flavors or 14 different?
Flavors.
14
Wow.
flavors. Yes. Now, and then we have a machine that has two large drums. Each one is filled with the masa, one with the meat, and then it comes out through an extruder, and the meat is already in the filling
The inside.
of the masa,
Oh,
and then it goes on a conveyor belt, and it's got a quill that cuts it to make sure it's consistent, and then we've got our employees on each side getting the tamal and wrapping it in the corn husk. So it's still a process where the employees are getting it and making it. It's
hand wrapped.
It's like it's a conveyor. It's hand wrapped. It's a conveyor belt. It's kind of like the I Love Lucy show where they're eating the candies real quick. So we have our trained tamale makers that are as quick, if not quicker, than what Lucy was doing.
Do you ever catch them stuffing a tamal down their mouth as the conveyor belt goes by?
Not unless they eat raw meat and raw masa.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It's raw at that point.
It is raw. Yes.
Okay, so when it's raw and they get it wrapped into the corn husk, and people make tamales different ways. And going back historically, I mean, banana leaves are also used in making tamales, are they not?
They can be, yes.
They sure
They
are.
can be. Now, I know you guys don't do that. Corn husk is seem to be the most common in this part of the country. But once you get them, come off the conveyor belt, they're hand wrapped, they're ready to go. Then what's the next step?
The next step is to put it in stainless steel trays, 10 dozen to a tray. And we continue the process until we complete a rack full of trays. And then we put them in our freezer to be cooked at a later date.
Right. Each rack holds 600 dozens.
600 dozens per rack. Okay.
Per rack. That's how we keep count.
Okay.
We freeze them and we box them raw.
Is it a quick freeze or slow freeze?
We have really large freezers. They freeze pretty quick. I mean, we freeze them overnight. I've never really timed how long it takes to freeze them solid, but they are frozen solid.
Okay. Now, why do you freeze them prior to cooking them?
Because when we send them to our stores, they are sent frozen raw in boxes, and each store cooks their tamales fresh. So that's why we don't cook them on our end. They get cooked when they're going to be used to sell.
Okay. Now, Valerie, Herlinda's talking about stores. How many stores do you have? How many locations do you have?
We have 8 locations, 6 in San Antonio, 2 in Austin, and then we do have an online store, which is, I guess that would be considered our 9th store.
Okay.
Where we people order them either for pickup at the locations or for shipping. We do ship them nationwide. And I guess we could even add a 10th location with all the business we do with the Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats. The orders are coming in constantly. Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that mail order here in a little while. We're still making the tamales. So you make them, and Valerie, then once, as Luna said, then you ship them to the different locations, or get them shipped, and then each location makes them.
Yes. Each location, they're already made. They put them in their freezer, and then they cook them fresh in the morning for their customers.
Okay.
So it's a hot, fresh product every day,
and
7 days a week.
And that way you maintain quality control from the main plant of making sure every tamal sold has the same texture, flavor, quality. Right. Okay. So each location is what time do your stores open?
At 8:00 in the morning.
At this time, it's at 8:00. As we get closer to the cooler weather, which is the tamale season, we do open at 7. And it's all day long till 6 p.m. The only day we do close early is on Sundays at 3. But 7 days a week, we are open.
Okay. Yep. Herlinda, as each of the locations, when they cook their tamales, how do they cook them? What do they cook them in?
We have these large steam ovens, so they're cooked in steam for about 2 to 3 hours, and that's how they cook them every morning. So you steam them. That's the best way to
You
cook a
steam them.
tamal, and that's the best way to reheat a tamal.
Is to steam them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little tamale hack here, people. I know when I get a tamale and it comes out of the freezer or out of the refrigerator, let it thaw out a little bit. And what I like to do is get a paper towel, dampen that get that paper towel wet, and then wrap the tamale in that wet paper towel, stick it in the microwave for a little bit of time, and that thing steams up, comes out nice and soft. Sure, it's fresh. It's like it's brand new. So this is amazing. So your factory. During your busy season, how many tamales are you knocking out a day?
I'll tell you what, during our busy season, I think we make about 4,000 dozens a day. 4,000 dozens. We crank them out, and we could probably make more, but we limit ourselves to about 4,000. We don't want to overtax our employees. It's just a lot of tamales to be wrapping up.
4,000, so that'll take maybe that cover what 5 or 6. Family reunions for Mexicanos, just maybe.
Right. And I did want to mention also, JR, at our factory, we have our state inspector there every day. So it also it keeps us and our product extremely uniform. We have a very tight ship that we run over there. We keep everything
consistent.
Yeah, consistent.
So as long as checking the equipment and the cleanliness and the quality, does the inspector actually taste test and making sure? Is he also a taster, or do you have your own tasters?
We have our own tasters, but he's been known to taste a couple here and there.
Okay. Well, next time you have a job opening for a taster, just give me a call. I'll be more than happy to visit a couple of your locations.
The good thing about tamales, I was going to mention, is they're not just for breakfast or lunch or dinner. They are for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, parties.
They're for everything.
Yes. Everything.
And even that, 3 o'clock in the morning when you've been out too late and you're looking for something to eat,
right.
That Whataburger line is too long. You go, no, I'm not going to stand in that line. And then it's like, okay, let's just go home and warm up some tamales. No, you're right.
Delicious tamales.
You're right. Now, tamales are not only for every meal, year round, but you do have your peak season. What is the peak season for tamales, Herlinda?
Peak season for us starts maybe mid-November and December. December definitely for Christmas, but more and more we see a trend where in November for Thanksgiving, people want it there along with their turkey. Thanksgiving is turkey, pumpkin pie, dressing, and now it's tamales.
I know in our family, anytime we sit down for a big meal, whether it be your traditional turkey with dressing and cranberry sauce and sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes, you're going to find some tamales there on the side. You got to have the tamales. Okay, so the holiday season is your biggest time of year. What would you say, business-wise? How much of your overall revenue for the year do you bring in during that holiday season?
For the holiday season, I think we make as much revenue in December as we do the whole other 11 months of the year. So it's very
wow.
It's a very seasonal business.
Yes.
I think the fourth quarter is our busy season, because not only do we do the holidays, we also do a lot of fundraisers with schools, organizations like the Pep Squad, the band. They go out and take orders, and then they put one big order with me because they're taking so many. Sometimes they take up to 3,000 dozens at a time. I give it to them at a discount. They add their whatever they want to make in profit. Right. And there you go. They've got their money for their trips, for parties, whatever they're going to do. But we do a lot of fundraisers, and those are in October, November. So that keeps us busy also during the fourth quarter of the season.
Wow, things have changed. I remember when I was little, we'd have to sell those little chocolate candy bars.
Andale.
They're so good, too.
They are good. Your choice, do you like it with almonds or without almonds?
I like it with almonds.
So we've gone from, America is changing. We've gone from the chocolate candy bars to tamales.
It used to be cookie dough for me when I was in high school. It's cookie dough.
That's what you all sold a lot of. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, business is business and fundraising is fundraising. Um, Valerie, you've been in the business obviously for a while. How have you seen the industry change over the years, or have you?
Um, yeah, right now I think I mean, we used to have people come in and apply constantly, but I think because of the pandemic, people are not applying as much into just a regular job. I have openings all the time, so I see that trend that has changed where we used to have a lot of employees. And one of the biggest problems that I hope the government, I mean, I hate to get political, but one of the biggest problems that I hope the government gets to solve is all these immigrants coming in from out of the country. They need a job. We need employees. Hey, let's match them together. You
Yeah.
know,
Give them a
No,
ability to work.
give them an opportunity. Yeah, let's give them
Yeah.
an opportunity to work.
you're
Commission to work.
absolutely you're absolutely right. I don't think it's getting political. It's just business. In fact, I saw a report the other day that the coming out of the United States Chamber of Commerce, in that if every unemployed person in the country were to get a job, we'd still be short over 4 million people to fill jobs. So
Wow.
it's definitely
Wow.
there is definitely a need. No, I agree with you. We'll talk about that offline a little bit. So congratulations on having a successful company, and I think the name is appropriate. Delicious Tamales. It describes the product, but you not only have tamales. What are some of the other products that you have, Herlinda?
Well, recently we've opened a new line of products for our shipping. We ship carne guisada. We ship picadillo. We ship rice. We ship refried beans, salsa, red and green. We have the barbacoa. We have tortillas. You can find it all on our website at delicious tamales.com. And it's really taken off. There's people that are just looking for authentic Mexican food to get delivered directly to them to their door. And we'll be more than happy to do that for you.
The tortillas that you ship out, corn or flour?
Both.
Both.
Now we don't make them
Wow.
here
So
because we're not a molino, and we
right.
don't, we just don't have the equipment for that. But we have a bakery up the street that makes the flour tortillas homemade for us, and then we have another tortilleria that we go to get the corn tortillas, and they do it the old-fashioned way as well. They cook their corn, grind it, and that's their main line of business. So that's
So if a person anywhere in the country wanted a good, authentic Mexican meal, they just can go online to Delicious Tamales and order everything they need, right?
they sure can.
Yes, they can go to delicious tamales.com and they need to sing a little ay, 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 as they're ordering.
Como?
No.
What do they have to do?
They have to
One more
be
time.
singing a
One
little
more time.
ay, 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 ay.
They're gonna get all excited.
All right, and you guys sell this. When you send it out, how does it go? Does it go UPS? Does it go Postal Service, FedEx?
It
How
goes
how do you
UPS.
ship
We
it?
ship everything UPS. We either ship it overnight, second day, or 3 day. As the months get cooler, we'll do the 3 day. It got really really hot here this past few months, so we eliminated that option and we just did overnight or second day. But
Okay.
we'll bring it back here
So
in
And,
case
and
it's
then in
below 100.
Texas, it's a ground in Texas,
That's right.
which
okay.
gets there within a couple of days. So that's a real popular one for Texans.
So when you see your UPS driver getting out of the truck and wearing a Guayabera, my tamales are here. My
With a
tamales are here
sombrero.
with a little sombrero.
Yeah.
Okay. As we're looking at this, you've had some success. You have online. What percentage? And I don't want to get into your business too much, but I'm curious. I don't want to get too much in your business here, but what percentage of your overall business is actually online?
Uh, Online, I would say maybe about 15%.
Okay.
I
And
mean,
in the slower months?
it's hard to
In the
tell,
slower
JR.
months?
In the slower
Okay.
months, no, that is the slower months because we get a lot of online orders for pickup at our stores. So that's considered an online order as well, even though they're going to pick it up because people prepay their orders. But as we get closer to the holidays, it gets so busy that we actually have to shut down the website about mid-December
Wow.
because it gets too overwhelming. I mean, our managers start texting us, when are we going to shut it down? When are we going to stop? They start panicking. It gets too much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Here's another question. Let's say a person is going through San Antonio or they're going through Austin. As an option to using the website, they said, "Well, you know what? We live in Ohio or something. We're gonna pick up some tamales, some other things to take back." Can they do that? Can they go to a store and actually purchase frozen tamales?
They can. They can. All of our stores have frozen tamales. Sure can.
Yes.
Now, we often recommend them to come to our main factory because that's where we vacuum pack them. So we can actually supply them with a shipping box, the shipping materials, set everything up exactly the way as if we were going to ship it out, but they just take it with them. They run it through as luggage. They take it with them on the plane. We have many options.
So just take it in your carry-on, right?
That's it.
Yep.
Just
And hope the TSA guy doesn't try to confiscate them.
exactly.
All righty. Well, you said you had 14 other flavors as you described them. What are some of the other flavors that you have? The pork is the most common. Pork. I mean, you have that, and I've had your pork. I've had your bean and cheese. What are some of the things I have not tasted yet?
We have the chicken. We have a tomatillo chicken and cheese. We have a bean and cheese, a jalapeno bean and cheese. We have a sweet tamal, which is a dessert tamal.
A dessert tamal?
Yes,
Okay.
just like grandma used to make at home. You know,
And
it's a sweet tamal with raisins, pecans, coconut, and it's a sweet masa.
It's almost like a bread pudding flavor, but it's with corn masa instead of with a flour masa. It's like a bread pudding.
Okay.
Those are pretty popular, especially during the holidays.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this, ladies. Delicious tamales. Where do you go from here?
The only way to go is up.
Herlinda. Herlinda is our innovative tamale.
Tamale
Tamale
princess. Lots of
princess.
things. Princess. There's lots of things in the works. We have new flavors. Maybe a chicken mole eventually.
Oh, wow.
Black bean,
Okay.
the vegetarian black bean we've been working on.
There you go with that vegetarian
I
stuff again.
know it's people of all walks of life deserve to have tamales.
Okay.
So there's different flavors. That's one way, and then we're also thinking about doing some mobile vending units or food trucks that we can kind
There
of
you
send
go.
out to the little pueblitos that are smaller cities. Set up there for a day or two, have tamales available for sale, and then come back to home base, replenish, and send it somewhere else. So that's in the works.
Do you guys do any any farmers markets or county fairs or anything like that right now or not?
Not right now. We used to do a lot of events, but we're just so busy, and it's again back to the whole employment thing. It's hard because when you send
Sure.
a group out to those festivals or other places to sell,
Which are mostly on weekends, which is most your busy time.
That's exactly it. And we just don't have the employees to do it right now.
Now, talking about weekends, I understand that weekends is when you sell is the only time you sell your carne guisada, your barbacoa, and some of the other specialty items.
Well, the carne guisada and the picadillo and the Mexican food, we sell it Wednesday through Sunday here at our main factory at our restaurant. And the barbacoa is sold on the weekends at all of our stores. But those items are available for shipping. So you can get them any day of the week.
Anytime. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you this, either one of you, the best way to reheat that barbacoa for consumption is how? I know I have my way, but I want to ask how you guys do it.
The best way is to steam it because it's wet heat. It'll keep it moist. That's the way we were taught, growing up. The moisture is important in the barbacoa. You don't want to have a dry barbacoa. Now, when we ship it and then when we vacuum pack it here, the only thing you have to do is make holes in the vacuum. You can put it in the microwave and it steams up in the bag. Very easy.
Okay.
It's very easy.
Can you also
How
boil
do you
it?
heat it up?
Can you also boil it when it's in the bag?
We had some ranchers that do that when they go during deer season. They told us this is what we do. We boil a pot on the grill on the floor, and then we just put the bag in there with the tamales or barbacoa, and it steams up. So it can be done.
Well, some good barbacoa on a fresh tortilla with some picante sauce on it or pico. I mean, it's great. I love
Can't
it.
beat
That
that.
is the breakfast of champions. I
That's right.
know I'm going to anticipate a question. I know some of our listeners probably have. Do you guys sell franchises? Are you a franchise or everything just totally family owned?
Well, everything is
Family
just
owned.
owned by the two of us. It's not family. We are family, but
Just the
it's
two.
just the
Well,
two
you're
of
family.
us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Two,
not
two.
I have
franchise.
another daughter that is not involved in the business. So Herlinda and myself is what you get.
That's
I'm the
it.
queen. She's the princess.
The reina.
You're the
Okay, the
queen
reina.
mother, and
The
I'm the
Okay,
queen.
I'm the
queen.
queen. The tamale queen. I know that I have a sign on the front of my desk that says tamale queen that you gave me,
I
Herlinda,
did.
when you were
I
young,
did. I gave it to her when she
younger.
was, I think, when I was 18 or 19.
Well, we have the queen and the young princess here. Um, definitely for 43 years. I mean, that's very significant. Congratulations on your business success, and congratulations on being innovative enough to keep up with the times, pivoting during the COVID, coming up with the shipping. I mean, the world is changing and the country is
Yes.
changing.
It
I mean,
is.
salsa outsells ketchup. More and more people are discovering, just the cuisine
Mexican food.
of
Yeah.
Mexican food and like it,
Yes.
and want it as part of a regular diet. So as that continues to grow and your business continues to grow, any thought of franchising?
We've considered it, franchising. I think in the past we had talked about it. It requires a lot of legal stuff we haven't really looked into. It'd be
Okay.
great to have franchises. It's just such a seasonal business, which is what the challenge is for a lot of people.
Right. Yeah,
If
but
you're
then
going to
so
open it
so
up,
are so are fireworks, but there's a lot of people making money off fireworks.
you're right.
That's
You're
right.
right. But
That's
I
right.
mean,
That's right.
fireworks, you buy them, you store them there. And with tamales, you kind of have to scramble for about, the hotter months of the year. You kind of just have to ride it and wait. And then once the holiday season comes around, you just, you let it take off on its own. So, but we're more than happy if anybody wants to contact us and think about the franchising in Houston, Dallas. We are all ears. We love to bring delicious tamales to bigger cities around Texas.
Herlinda, do you have any kids?
I have two daughters.
Two daughters, and do they come to work with you?
Sometimes, but
Sometimes my
one's
little
one
baby
is three and a
girls,
half, and the other one is 6 months.
6 months.
So they're
Okay, they're
not
still
yet,
they're
yeah.
very, very young, very young.
But
Okay,
they know the factory. They know what it's like to be here. My 3.5-year-old is pretty tall, so I'm waiting another year or so, and then I'll get her on that tamale line.
put her on
Go
the
to work.
tamale line.
That's right.
Forget child labor laws. If you're family, you're going to work.
It's very important to teach kids the importance of earning the dollar, earning money. If you're going to spend it, you got to learn how to earn it. And that's the way I was
Absolutely.
taught. That's the way I was brought up, and it's extremely important, I think.
Well, Valerie, you're establishing a legacy here. Erlinda, you have two young daughters that are growing up. Are you hoping that one of them will be interested enough in the business to take over as you two start maturing and are ready for maybe retirement years from now?
I'm
I
ready. I
am
mean, my
ready.
mom's been talking about retirement for the past 10, 15 years, and I don't know if she'll ever retire. I think it's a labor of love for her. What you going to do if you retire? You're going to stay at home. You're going to get tired, have nothing to do.
She'll stay at home and make tamales. I mean, if you're going to make them, might as well get paid for making them.
That's it.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very, very much for taking time to be on the podcast today. I know I've learned a lot, and hope our listeners have discovered new ways of enjoying tamales and definitely how to reheat them, and just the innovation that you've created in the shipping. Not only the tamales, but the carne guisada, the barbacoa, the pico de gallo, and the flour and corn tortillas, and soon maybe some chicken mole, if I heard you correctly
It's in
early.
the works.
That would
Chicken mole
it's
tamales.
in the works. Okay. Well, is there anything, Herlinda, you first, and then Valerie, anything you'd like to leave the listening audience with? Any thoughts?
We're here. When you're ready to place your order, visit us online. We are geared up for our holiday season. If you want delicious tamales y mas, just come check us out online, and we'd be more than happy to fulfill any wants of authentic Mexican food.
Delicious Tamales y Mas.
Delicious
Delicious Tamales at
And
delicioustamales.com. Yes,
right.
Delicious Tamales and more. I would always suggest to people to try to order early, and that way once you order, your order is on our books and there's nobody going to take your order but you when you show up for it.
Right.
Do you also do catering?
We don't do
We
catering.
don't.
And
We sell to catering companies, but we don't do it ourselves.
Yeah, we don't have the manpower, and we just don't do catering. Now, our cutoff for shipping, if you want to also include this, is December the 12th. So we usually cut off mid-December for shipping, because then it just gets too crazy. UPS starts letting us know we can't get it there on time. It might get there, it might not, and we just don't risk it. So December the 12th.
Okay, so December, the important date, December. You say
December
September?
the 12th.
December.
December.
For Christmas.
For Christmas?
Okay.
Is that for the rest of the year, for the end of the year?
Okay.
Is December the 12th.
Now then, are your stores still open after December the 12th, where they can go to the store and purchase them? Or are you pretty much cutting off there?
Mm-hmm. Our online store is what shuts down. It just gets overwhelming, and then we can't guarantee that the shipment will get there on time. But our stores are open all the way until December the 24th. Usually we close about 4 o'clock. All of our stores shut down, and then we close for Christmas, and we come right back on the 26th for the New Year's run.
For the New Year's Eve run, because a lot of people do buy tamales for New Year's Eve also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so people can
and atomic tamales.
So people can order tamales or go pick them up as late as the 23rd or 24th.
They sure can. Yes.
And then again on the 26th, all the way till the 31st.
Okay.
Yes.
And I tell you what, Christmas is not Christmas unless you unwrap tamales with your presents.
If you do not have tamales for your holidays, you are not a true Texan, as I like to say. But now, like I say, tamales have cut across all cultures. It's not just Hispanics anymore. Everybody has to have tamales.
Now, believe it or not, we actually have some listeners in other parts of the world. I know we have listeners in Canada, in the Netherlands, even in Bangladesh. We have listeners. But you do not ship internationally, do you?
We don't.
We don't.
We can't guarantee
Not
that
yet.
it will get
Not
there in
yet.
time. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I'm sure we'll cut.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. We'll end it there. Okay. Not yet. Valerie, Herlinda, thank you once again so much for being with us today. I really enjoyed the conversation. You've been listening to the Latino Business Report. My name is J.R. Gonzalez. I am your host, and you can find our complete body of work on LatinoBusinessReport.com. If you're more of a YouTube person, you can also find our entire library of episodes on YouTube under the same name, Latino Business Report. Guys, be safe out there. We got the holiday season fast approaching. We have Hispanic Heritage Month, all kinds of activities. Drive safe, be careful. Next time you're hungry, think delicious tamales. All right. Guys, have a great day, and we'll talk, and hopefully we'll see you soon.